Before we dive into this dark story, hit that subscribe button like your life depends on it. Because after hearing what happened on that Oakland campus, you'll realize sometimes the truth is far more terrifying than anything we could make up. The sirens were already screaming through the cold November air when the first officers reached Laney College. Their flashlights cut across the empty courtyard like frantic signals, searching for the source of a call that had shaken dispatch to its core. Male victim, gunshot wound to the head, athletic facility. Minutes earlier, students studying late in the library had dropped to the floor at the sound of a single, echoing blast. One witness claimed it felt too close, like it came from inside the walls. Another swore they saw someone sprinting across the field, slipping into the shadows before disappearing entirely. Inside the field house, beneath the flickering lights, John Beam, the widely respected coach and athletic director who had mentored thousands of Oakland youth, was lying motionless on the ground. Blood spread across the polished floor in a slow, unsettling halo. For a moment, the officers froze. It wasn't just the horror of the scene, it was who he was. The man considered a lifeline for generations of Oakland youth, now fighting for his own life. Detective Mara Ellison arrived moments later, tightening her coat as the rain began to fall. She'd worked enough shootings to know when something felt off, and this one screamed it. "Where's the weapon?" she asked. No gun, no casing, no signs of forced entry, and yet the shot had been fired at nearly point-blank range. Whoever did this didn't break in. They walked right in, and Beam likely knew them. Campus security footage from the hallway showed only two things: Beam unlocking the door to the field house at 7:42 p.m., and exactly 6 minutes later, the corridor went pitch black. The cameras didn't malfunction. Power to that wing was cut manually. Someone planned this. As paramedics rushed to stabilize Beam, Ellison turned to the campus security chief. "You said he wasn't expecting anyone tonight." The chief hesitated. "That's what he told us earlier, but..." Beam got a call just before he went inside. Looked urgent. Urgent enough to come back to campus long after he'd gone home? Ellison followed a thin trail of footprints, faint, smeared by the rain, but still visible, leading from the side door of the field house towards a chain-link fence behind the stadium. The pattern wasn't right. They weren't running footprints. They were careful, deliberate, almost measured. Someone who came prepared and left prepared. She ducked beneath the fence opening someone had recently peeled back. The metal edges were freshly cut, still sharp, a perfect exit route. But it was what she found on the other side that made her heart jolt. A phone, cracked, lying face down in the mud, still buzzing with unread messages. And when she turned it over, her breath caught. It wasn't Beam's phone. It belonged to someone he trusted, someone who should never have been there that night. And the last message on the screen was chillingly simple. "I'm here. Come alone." Detective Mara Ellison stood under the dull glow of a street lamp, the stolen phone still in her hand. Rain slid down the cracked screen, blurring the final message. "I'm here. Come alone."
Whoever sent it wasn't just luring someone. They were orchestrating something, and John Beam walked right into it. Back inside the field house, forensics had begun their slow, meticulous sweep. No fingerprints, no shell casings, no shoe tracks except Beam's. A surgically precise execution. The crime scene felt less like a chaotic shooting and more like the aftermath of a calculated betrayal. Ellison bagged the phone and headed for a car. She needed answers, and there was only one place to get them: Beam's office. His inner circle, his schedule, his calls, everything started there. Laney College at night felt haunted. The hallways echoed with each step, lockers reflecting the flashing blue of patrol cars outside. Beam's office sat at the end of a narrow corridor, cluttered with decades of memories, trophies, handwritten notes from former players, old team photos, scholarships he'd helped secure. Every inch of the room radiated the man he was, committed, relentless, hopeful. But tonight, something was different. Drawers were open, paper scattered, not messy, disturbed. Someone had searched the office, and not long ago. Ellison flicked on the desk lamp. A single folder sat in the center of the desk, placed too intentionally to be overlooked. Inside, recruitment forms, transcripts, academic records, and tucked at the back, a letter. Unsent, folded and creased from repeated handling. She opened it slowly. "Coach Beam, we need to talk before things get worse. You know what they're doing. You know what's at stake. If you won't stop it, I have to." No signature, no date, but the handwriting matched the name on the stolen phone. Raymond Cole, former player, once a star, now a ghost. Raymond had been one of Beam's success stories, until he wasn't. A promising career derailed by injuries, academic troubles, and rumors of involvement with people Beam warned him about. He vanished from the team 2 years earlier. No forwarding address, no contact. Until tonight. Ellison's pulse quickened. Was Raymond seeking help? Revenge? Or was he trying to stop someone else? She needed eyes on him fast. She contacted dispatch. Run a locate on Raymond Cole. Last known address, relatives, dissociates. And get me the footage from the east parking lot. Minutes later, new information arrived. And it wasn't good. "Detective Ellison," dispatch said. "We found something. A witness saw a man matching Raymond Cole's description earlier tonight, behind the stadium. He was approached by someone in a dark SUV. They talked. Then he got inside willingly. A meeting. An abduction. A deal." Ellison replayed the witness statement in her head. A dark SUV. A private meeting. And the message, "Come alone."
Raymond wasn't hiding. Raymond didn't run. Raymond was being pulled back into something far more dangerous. She stepped outside into the rain, mind racing. She was connecting the dots, but the picture they formed was darker than she expected. Suddenly, her phone buzzed. A new message, no number, just one chilling line. If you're reading this, you're already too close. Below it, a blurry photo. A man tied to a chair, a warehouse, and in the corner of the frame, Beam's missing keycard. Detective Mara Ellison drove through the slick streets of Oakland, following the coordinates embedded in the ominous text. Rain had soaked the city, turning asphalt into mirrors reflecting the flashing lights of patrol cars trailing her every move. Every stoplight felt like a countdown. One wrong turn, one delayed reaction, and the lead could vanish forever.
The warehouse loomed on the outskirts of the industrial district. Broken windows and rusted metal doors made it look abandoned, but the faint glow of a single hanging bulb betrayed life within. Ellison signaled backup, but something told her she couldn't wait. Every second counted. For Beam, for Raymond, and for the truth hidden somewhere inside those walls. Inside, the air was thick with dust, the smell of damp concrete and old machinery heavy. Shadows clung to the corners, and the echoes of her footsteps bounced ominously across the floor. There, tied to a chair in the center of the room, was Raymond Cole. Bruised, shaking, but alive. And next to him, a familiar figure, slumped, eyes barely open. John Beam. "Detective," Raymond croaked, struggling against his restraints. "They're watching us. They knew you'd come." Ellison's eyes scanned the room. A series of cameras blinked silently in the corners, a live feed feeding some unknown audience. Someone wanted this documented, wanted it broadcast like a grotesque theater of fear. A shadow shifted behind crates. A man stepped forward, calm, composed, and terrifyingly methodical. He carried a small case, like he had rehearsed this moment 1,000 times. "You shouldn't have come," he said, voice low and cold. "Beam was supposed to stay out of it, but you interfered." Ellison's hand hovered over her service weapon. "Who are you?" The man smiled. "Call me
The Fixer. In that moment, everything clicked. The meticulous planning, the cut power lines, the careful manipulation of Raymond. It wasn't about revenge. It was about control. Beam had been trying to protect his students from the wrong crowd, to stop them from being exploited. The Fixer had lost money, influence, leverage. Beam had become a threat to something much bigger than anyone realized. Before Ellison could react, the man lunged toward the control panel. Sparks flew as she fired. The lights went out, and chaos erupted. Ellison grabbed Beam's arm, dragging him toward the nearest exit. Raymond followed, but the Fixer vanished into the shadows. Backup arrived seconds later, sirens wailing, lights slicing through the dark. Outside, paramedics rushed Beam into an ambulance. Raymond was free, shaken but alive. Ellison watched as the Fixer's escape route became clear, a network of tunnels beneath the city, built to disappear without a trace. As Beam's eyes met hers, faint but aware, he whispered, "They'll come back. They always do." Ellison knew he was right. Even with the immediate threat gone, the city's underbelly would never let someone like Beam remain untouched, and the text that had led her here still echoed in her mind. If you're reading this, you're already too close. Weeks later, the case went cold. The Fixer vanished into the shadows. Beam recovered physically, but the scars ran deep. Oakland had survived another night of terror, but its shadows had only grown longer. And somewhere, deep in the city, a message flashed on a cracked phone screen. Chapter 1 is over. The story is just beginning.